more power, more tech, more space, and more driving pleasure. This is the new Mercedes GLC 43 AMG. Well, you might be thinking that the biggest bummer for this AMG is the loss of the V6 or the V8. But nah, you thought wrong, because this thing is absolutely insane. Okay, yes, this powertrain is not a V6 or a V8, but this engine is no joke. It uses tech from Formula One, and it's the most innovative powertrain out right now. So let me show you why the GLC 43 is the best GLC to have ever been made. God damn, okay, this thing is so good. The GLC has been redesigned in 2023, but all new for 2024 is the AMG lineup, which includes the new GLC 63 and this version, the GLC 43, which is right in between the two. You no longer get the V6 or the V8. On every single model though, you can only get this handcrafted AMG 2.0 liter 4-cylinder with a turbocharger and a mild hybrid. With this AMG though, you get 416 horsepower and 369 pound-feet of torque. For extra power though, you can get the GLC 63 SE Performance AMG car, which puts out 671 horsepower and 752 pound-feet of torque, which is insane. But for most people, the power in this 43 is more than enough. God damn, okay, these shifts sound awesome. Downshift, downshift. I'm a sucker for shifts that just do that whole thud in the back. We'll do it again. Yeah, that's so good. This car is rated for a 0-60 time of 4.8 seconds. So let's give it a test. Let's put the drag race mode on because it will measure up. You get these really cool track lights and this really cool race start launch control. Oh my god, it just puts you right in your seat. And 4.6 seconds, so 100 kilometers. That is really impressive. That is better than what I thought this car would get. It just puts you right in your seat. This car launches so hard. It is amazing. It makes this car the most powerful 4-cylinder to ever have been made. And it's all thanks to this electric exhaust turbocharger. It's this really cool technology that has never been used before. Basically, they use a 1.6-inch electric motor that they wedge between the turbine and the compressor, and it spools like a normal turbo using the exhaust gas, which gives normal turbocharged cars that delay. But using that electric motor, while it's waiting for the exhaust gas to get to the turbines, it's already spinning those blades to get the boost up before the exhaust could get to it, which should mean that there is no turbo lag. Let's try a second gear, just pull. Yep. Oh my god, okay. This thing is so good. That basically means there's no delay. This is the only production engine in the world to use this technology, and they basically pulled this right out of Formula One, because all their F1 cars right now are using the same technology. All that means is that you get this instant response, better driving dynamics, and better fuel economy. Oh my god, these shifts are lightning fast. All that cool electric technology stuff is powered by a very small 48-volt mild hybrid battery, and that battery will help you coast and also helps with the auto stop start system, giving this car an extra 13 horsepower of boost whenever it's needed from that electric motor itself. Oh my god, race start. These shifts are so rough. I freaking love them. Okay. In terms of fuel economy though, you do get 21 miles per gallon combined, which is alright. Even with that 2.0 liter inline 4, I would expect a little bit better, but it's not bad. I feel like most people won't really notice. But what is great is the transmission. This transmission is the Speed Shift MCT 9-speed auto. It's not like a torque converter transmission like a regular car, which gives cars that smooth shift feeling. Neither is it a dual clutch transmission, but it basically acts like one because it is a multi-clutch pack and it's attached directly to the input shaft, which means that the shifts are more direct, but it also means that they're a little bit more rough, so you will feel them even when you're not driving like a maniac. The shifts don't feel as smooth as something like the GLC 300 or a bunch of other cars, but in turn you get this very direct feeling and this very fast shift, and they are so good. And Mercedes chose this over a dual clutch transmission is because it handles more power for that GLC 6.3, which makes over 700 pound-feet of torque. So you need a transmission that can endure all that torque. Downshift, downshift. The pops and bangs on this car also sounds great. Yeah, this thing is just too good. In this car, you also get this magic AMG 4MATIC, which has a permanent fixed ratio of a 70-30 split, and that means that you have almost unlimited grip, especially when you pair it with these tires that are 295 wide in the rear. Let's just do another quick launch. There is absolutely no wheel spin. Brakes are really good too. Okay, the graphics here is great. Oh my god. That first shift feels like something straight out of an actual race car. These seat belts start pulling you real hard. I actually kind of like that. Let's actually park it real quick and just give you some revs from a standstill. There are valves in this car, and there is a little bit of pumped in audio, but basically it's a sensor connected to the exhaust that picks up the audio from the exhaust and induces it in the cabin. So it's not all synthesized, and I think it actually sounds pretty good. For an inline four, you can't beat it. And the sound of this car feels a lot more like an F1 car rather than a muscle car. It's very smooth. There's also the drive mode selector here, and it's my favorite system of all because it's right on the steering wheel. You have your dial here, which puts your car in comfort, individual, snow, sport, and sport plus mode. And then you also have your dial here for your chassis, and you can customize things like your steering, your exhaust valves, your traction, or if you want to leave it in permanent manual mode. There's so many customizabilities, and it's all right here, so you don't even have to take your hands off the wheel to use them. And for the 43, you do get standard rear wheel steering, which is pretty cool. You don't see this in a lot of cars in this category. It does turn the back wheels up to 2.5 degrees, and it counter turns so that it makes your turning circle tighter. It's still not the greatest turning radius. I've seen better, mostly because this car is running on 295 tires in the rear, so there's that. But they also turn in tandem with the front wheels when you're going at high speed, and it assists with turns, and you don't really feel it, which is a good thing, because I feel like in many other cars it feels a little weird at times. But in this car, it does a really good job incorporating that rear wheel steer, whether you're going fast or slow. The suspension here is a little bit firmer. If you throw it into comfort mode, it softens up a little bit, and perfectly fine to daily with. I feel like in the past, a lot of the more AMG focused cars are really, really stiff, and it just gets really uncomfortable. But this is fine. It rides like kind of like an X3 M40, where it's not overly stiff, but just firm enough for you to take corners with confidence. Let's just throw it right now. Sport Plus mode, stiffen up the suspension. Yeah, okay. I also really like the steering in this car. It is perfectly weighted, and it's a very fast turning rack. The first little like half inch doesn't really do anything, which is good because then you don't want it to be overly sensitive if you're just cruising on the highway or something and need to make so many micro adjustments. But after that half inch, then it's super like direct. You can just whip this car around with barely any input, and it just feels great. Perfectly weighted. In comfort mode, it is a little bit heavier than a lot of cars, which I kind of like, and I also really like this Alcantara wheel on this 43. It just feels great. I think the steering is spot on in the 43 AMG. In general though, this car is going to be rougher than the GLC 300. If you just care about absolute comfort, a more quiet ride, a more tranquil and peaceful ride, and not so much performance, just get that car because it will be more comfy. But for a better balance, and if you do care a little bit about performance, then this is the way to go. For the new AMG in this car, even though you lose that V6 or V8 or whatever, it's still a better car. It handles better, it brakes better, especially with these 4-piston brakes. It's quicker, there's more space, and it just shoots off like a freaking rocket. Downshift, downshift. Okay, yep, this is a lot better than the old version. I like it a lot more, even though it doesn't sound quite as nice. It's just a better car, and I can't really blame them for that. I know a lot of people do complain that it doesn't have a big engine anymore. In a car like the C-Class, the C63, Getting rid of the V8 might not be the best decision because those are full-on car enthusiasts that really care about like that noise and that feel of a V8. But I don't think most buyers in this market looking for a GLC really care that much about whether it's a 4-cylinder or a 12-cylinder. They just need something good. Good in theory, good in practice, not just how it sounds. And this car really delivered. And don't hate on this inline 4 because it is a wolf in sheep's clothing. It is great. The combination of this engine, this powertrain, this MCT 9-speed auto, the steering, the handling, and everything about this car makes it a real AMG, regardless of the cylinder counts. Haters gonna hate, but if you haven't driven one, you don't have a valid opinion. The GLC looks so good and simple, not overly done, just aggressive enough. Even for a smaller SUV, it has this presence to it that makes it look big and bold. You can tell it's an AMG with the vertical grills up front. You got these really cool digital LED lights that do those really cool startup animations. It also projects things on the road like safety alerts, and it's really effective at night, high beaming around the other cars. It's great. I like the lights on this car. We've got this large inlet and air curtains that direct the airflow specifically to the various functions of the car. The GLC 43 also comes with standard 20-inch wheels, but this one is equipped with the optional 21s. I think these are the nicest looking wheels I've seen on an SUV in this category. It looks really good in this really cool, I don't even know how to describe the design, but it's nice. You can also get the nightshade package if you don't like the chrome around, and if you'd rather them blacked out. Personally, I would check that box. The rear has this flared out aggressive stance to it, especially with the massive 295 tires out in the back. It's a great looking SUV. Checking out the inside of the GLC, it is super nice in here. These seats are great. I like the two-tone look. These are sienna brown leather seats. They are not ventilated in this option, but you can spec it with ventilated seats. The materials are nice and soft. I like the stitching that goes throughout, and this like aluminum design mesh finish here. It is a little bit hollow if you like tap on it, but if you don't tap on it, it's fine. It doesn't squeak like the last gen Mercedes either, so it feels nice in here. I like the Alcantara on the steering wheel. Hopping into the center, you do get this 11.9-inch center display. It runs on MBUX, and there are quite a bunch of different things that you can go through here. You do of course get your wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, but you do get this track pace menu, which has like your lap information and actual tracks that you can like select from. And you do have your drag race mode, your telemetries here. You also get this page where you can see your engine information, vehicle information, and this cool IWC watch and your fuel consumption here. You also have a bunch of different ambient lighting colors that you can choose from. It is really nice at nighttime. And you have your apps menu. There are a bunch of different games that you can actually play. Built-in dash cam. You also get your off-road menu in case you want to take your AMG car off-roading, which I feel like no one would. I like how everything is nice and low. Your climate control is fixed at the bottom, so you don't have to dig through menus to find anything. And you can basically use this whole screen with your elbow on this armrest, well, most of the screen, so that you get more stability, and when you're going over bumps, you're not clicking random things by accident. So I like that. Moving into the center, you do get your digital dashboard. It is 12.3 inches, and there are quite a bunch of different things that you can go through. You have a sport menu, a super sport layout, and a track layout, and you also have your heads-up display, which can display different things. You have this race mode, which gives you this huge RPM gauge that is the size of a whole car when it's right in front of you. That is cool, but most of the time I would just leave it in standard mode. There's also an off-road menu page, again, if you want to take your AMG off-roading. Love these buttons here for your drive modes. These buttons are configurable, and you also have these haptic touch buttons here to control different things. This side controls the center screen, and this side controls the digital dashboard. You also have a few haptic buttons here, as well as your AMG button, which you can configure different driving modes through. Your 360 camera button, which is an awesome 360 camera. It's like a video game. You can see quite a few different things, and your parking assistance is also there in case you want self-parking. And speaking of safety, you do get available adaptive cruise control and lane keep assist, but it's not standard. And there's actually no lane departure warning as standard, which is interesting to see, given that pretty much all other brands, including Toyota, BMW, Honda, Hyundai, all have it as standard now. So it is interesting to see that there's all this tech, but no standard lane keep or even lane departure warning. But other than that, it's really hard to find any gripes about this car. You do get your fingerprint sensor here in case you want to load some personal data, your volume slider. You also get a wireless charger in the back here, which you have to kind of like find. And if you have a cup there, it's a little tricky to get your phone through, but these cup holders are really cool because they swivel and they lock your cup in place. You got a USB-C port there, a USB-C, 2 USB-C ports in here, and overall it is pretty nice. You do get your Burmester audio system and it sounds great in this car. It is an optional feature, and this is the key to the Mercedes. It is an AMG key and it does look pretty cool. I think this is one of the best keys out there right now. Enough about the front seats, let's check out the back seats. Checking out the rear seats of the GLC, quite spacious back here. The doors open nice and wide. There is a running board here as well. Quite a bit of leg space. I'm 5'8", and you can probably sit back here comfortably at over 6 foot tall. You also have quite a bit of headroom, a little bit of a tunnel here. No USB-C ports or heated seats or anything back here. Maybe it's an option because there is blank buttons here, but the materials back here are nice. It feels like a Mercedes in the back as well. It's also nice that you have a massive panoramic sunroof that just makes this car feel very open and airy. Let's check out the trunk. You do get a foot to release tailgate back here, and it's one of the faster opening trunks out there right now. You do get 22 cubic feet of space, but if that's not enough, you can fold these seats down. You get a little toggle switch there, and if you notice, those front seats move up automatically to clear those seats, and when you raise them back up again, it will move back into the regular position. You also get a spare tire back here, which is not something you normally see nowadays. The GLC is literally a representation of Mercedes' continual push for innovation. From the first ever electric exhaust turbo to the most powerful 4-cylinder engine, all built on AMG's central philosophy, one man, one engine, meaning every Mercedes AMG engine is carefully assembled by a single engine master for the highest quality. The GLC does all the great things and functions of an SUV. It has space, it has tech, it has comfort, luxury, all while the AMG badge brings this car to life. And it keeps everything alive and exciting, genuinely making this car fun. This car will just put a freaking smile on your face, whether you're taking it around these corners, the Nürburgring, or to the Costco parking lot. Oh my god, this handling is so impressive. Sport handling traction, and it's just a joy to ride. I can't even complain about this car. That's all, guys. Thanks for watching.